This video is going viral on the internet.
कि अगर मैं एक बैंक पे जाके 6% की एफडी ना करवा के अगर दो अलग बैंक में, लेट्स से मेरे पास 100 रुपए है और मैं वो 100 रुपए एक बैंक में ना जाके दो अलग बैंक में 50-50 रुपए डाल दूं, तो मैं दोनों पे 6% कमा सकता हूं. दैट मींस मैं 12% का रिस्क फ्री रेट कमा रहा हूं अपने सेम पैसे पे by doing nothing.
Now, I'm not showing you this video to criticize the person. I'm showing you this video to highlight the reality that the level of financial education in India is really low. Now, this is not my personal opinion. World Bank has to say exactly the same. And for that, let me show you two data points. So this is data point number one, which highlights the fact that the literacy rate in India is higher than that of Pakistan. So there are more number of people in India who can read and write. So therefore, the literacy rate is higher. But take a look at data point number two, which talks about the financial literacy rate. Now here we fall behind Pakistan, and this is a deeply disturbing reality. So now you might have a series of questions. Question number one is that are people in India not well educated about money? How bad is the situation? Number two, what are the reasons why people are becoming dumb with their money? Is it because of the rise of Instagram culture and scrolling culture? And third and finally, that if you have younger brother, sister, if you have friends, if you have kids, then what is it that you should be telling them in order to make them financially more aware? Because this is an extremely important topic. Money is an aspect that hits us. If you are not in control of your money, you will have to forever work for it in your life. And yeah, it just creates a bad scenario. So from that perspective, please watch the video till the very end. I will help you understand all the aspects, why this situation is growing, what is it that you can do to save yourself from this troubling situation. Now, one way of being smart with your money is to rent out the assets that you have. Many a times you would have seen me that I have an Airbnb in Goa. So that is an asset for me. It's a house which I rent on Airbnb and make some money. I often get the question that we are not in a position to buy a villa and invest so much money. So is there something that we can do? So this brings us to the sponsors of today, which is Zoom Car. Zoom Car allows you to rent your car on their platform and make money in the process. If you are a car owner and are not using your car frequently, you could turn your car into a rent generating asset. As a host, you can share your car on Zoom Car and earn passive income. You get to decide when you want to share your car and for what duration. It could range from a few hours to almost a year. You have complete control on the duration. You also get to decide how much you want to charge for sharing your car. Zoom Car has built several features in their app, such as 24/7 customer support, live tracking, interacting with guests, and using the app to unlock the car. This way, you don't have to physically meet to hand over the keys. Additionally, the customer verification is done by Zoom Car, and in case of any damage, Zoom Car pays for them and repairs the vehicle through its garage partners. You can check out more details about this option in description and comment box. So let us start discussing these critical questions one by one. So question number one is that are Indians in a way getting dumb with their money? So not a very easy answer, but the hard answer here is an unfortunate yes, that we are actually getting dumb with our money. You again would say that, okay, this is your personal opinion. Can you show some data? So, okay, so let's start working towards that. So first and foremost, take a look at this data point, and here you will see something called as savings rate, which is going down as a percentage of GDP. Now, what does this actually mean? So for example, let's say that your salary is 1 lakh right now and your expenses are 30,000 and sab kuch cut kuta ke you are able to save 70,000, hypothetically speaking. 1 lakh salary, 30 lakhs expenses, and your savings become 70,000. So what is the equation here? Equation is savings is equal to revenues or salary minus expenses. So this is the basic definition of finance in a way, or rather, this equation captures the entire perspective that how responsibly you are spending your money and to what extent you are growing your salary. Now, if your salary is growing at a faster pace compared to your expenses, then your savings will go up. And if you're in that situation, then there is no harm in sort of upgrading your lifestyle, enjoying better things, etc., etc. So theoretically, under such situation, we could say that because your salary is growing at a faster pace compared to your expenses, you are somewhat financially stable. But again, go back and revisit this chart. What you will see in very simple language is that our savings rate as a percentage of GDP is going down. Yes, India's GDP is going up, that overall people are probably earning more, but the rate at which they are spending their money is even faster. So you tell me whether this is a sustainable thing or not, and is this sensible or not? I would love to know your viewpoint. So this is part one. Part 2 is that you need to then ask the question that, okay, on what things are Indians spending their money on? So this brings us to this interesting data point here, and I will read it with you. So here you can see that personal loans are taken somewhere in tune of 20% for business expenses. Then males in India are spending almost 7% of their personal loans on purchases like cars. Education is 7%, electronics, and then there are a bunch of things. Now, if you segregate these expenses into critical and non-critical expenses, you will get a very stark understanding how responsibly people are spending money by taking on loans. For example, many people are taking loans to repay their other loans. This is in tune of roughly 10-11%. This is a very high figure. It is just refinancing your existing loans. Not a very healthy way of spending your money. Now again, please note that almost 7% of the money is going into purchasing cars on a loan. Now if you are saving money then buying a car, it's fine, but the car is a depreciating asset, and if you are taking a loan to buy a car, then yeah, there are no relative advantage in doing that, but even this line of expense is going up. Now very easily, if you just ballpark it, so some expenses are necessary. For example, if you want to start a business and you don't have money, then taking money on loan, starting your business makes sense. So that's a sensible expense. But if you divide these essential, non-essential and tag them, while there is no easy answer here, you will easily see that 50% of the personal loan money is going into non-productive things. So again, we can make a case that there are a lot of people who are not sensibly spending their money. Now you'll say that, okay, this is like macro data that you're speaking about. Okay, let me show you another data point. So for example, take a look at this graphic and you will see that 70% of iPhones that are purchased in India, they are purchased on EMIs. Now many people can afford iPhones, many people cannot afford iPhones, but I hope that all of us could agree to the point that 7 out of 10 people buying iPhone, इनमें से कुछ तो होंगे who do not need to buy an iPhone, but they are still doing it because they are getting cheap credit. So this is not a sensible way of spending your money. Now again, I would request all of you to let me know in the comment box that do you know of people who are living beyond their means. Now India used to be a savings oriented society back in the day. In fact, my mother used to say that jitni chadar utne lambe pair, right? So this is a Hindi muhavara, Hindi kahavat, which essentially means that you should spend in terms of your limit. And because of the fact that you are getting some kind of loan, you are going ahead and burning your money, that's not a very sensible thing. So what type of problem it can lead to? For that, let me tell you a very basic story. See, all of us at some stage in our life, we will own a home. Probably we will do that when we are in our 30s, 40s. This is an aspiration that most of the Indians have, because once you have your family, you might want to buy your home. And most of the home purchases in India, how do they happen? They happen on EMI by taking a home loan. So majority of the people buying homes in India take a home loan when they are 30, 35, 40, when they are looking to build a home or buy a home. So that is a time to take some productive debt. Now, what does your EMI rate depend on? Well, it depends on your credit history, which is captured by your CIBIL score. So to cut the long story short, if you are taking a home loan in your 30s, 40s, and if you don't have any pre-existing debt, you have not defaulted on your loans, then you will get EMI which are somewhat sensible. Now in India, if you have a CIBIL score of more than 750, then it means that you are a great customer for a bank, and the loan rate that you will be given and the EMI that you will have to pay, it will come out to be lower compared to a person whose CIBIL score is less than 700. Now ask yourself, what type of people will have a CIBIL score of less than 700, sometimes even 600? It's very simple. People who keep on taking credit card debt. Yes, it also depends on to what extent you are using your credit limit. For example, hypothetically speaking, if you have a credit limit of 50,000 rupees and you are hitting that credit limit over and over again, कि 50,000 का max out कर दिया, then next month again you max out that. After 6 months, you again max out that. Yes, you are repaying your loans, but the problem becomes that you are hitting your CIBIL score. You become a slightly more risky customer. Now, many people watching this video, they will say that, you know what, I don't default on my credit card debt, debit card debt. Good for you. But you do not represent the entire Indian sample, so to say. Now take a look at this graph and you will see that SBI cards makes almost 44% of their revenues through interest income. So there are people in India who are defaulting on their loans or paying large amount of interest on their borrowings. If you are 20-year-old getting an iPhone on loan and you somehow max out your credit card limit over and over again, अभी तो आपको बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, but by the time you are 35, 40, when you genuinely need a loan for a house, you will have to pay a much higher EMI because your CIBIL score will be low. Now, these are the type of financial mistakes that people are making. I tried to explain this complicated bit. In case you did not follow it, please rewind the video, watch it. This is going to impact your life. Now, just to wrap up this section, let me show you two more macro data points. So here is the growth of retail loans in India. Just in the year 2022, retail loans grew by 50%, 50%. Think about it, an industry growing at a 50% rate. What about credit card business in India? It is growing at a CAGR of 20%. Very few industries will grow at that rate. So this is absolute crazy that people are borrowing more and more, spending like there is no tomorrow left. Young kids are taking crazy amount of loans just to buy non-productive things, which in the first instance they can't afford, but they just end up doing it. So this just shows that we as an economy are not spending our money sensibly. So this brings us to the second question, that what is the reason for this? Now I can speak about 4 or 5 central reasons. So number one reason is Instagram. Now social media like Instagram, which is aspirational in nature. आप अपने friends को holiday पे जाते हुए देखते हो. You see your friends, you see your neighbors going on expensive holidays, buying iPhone. It just puts pressure on you to go and spend money. Go and spend that money that you yourself do not have. Here you can see the household debt in India. Look at the rate at which the household debt in India is growing. I'm not saying that this is only India specific phenomena. This is a phenomena that is happening all across the globe. But yes, India is also joining the forces there, that we end up spending the money, or people end up spending the money that they don't have. And one big push there comes from platforms like Instagram, which is creating a wrong impression of what a good life looks like on especially young impressionable minds. So the solution here is very simple, that if you are on Instagram, try to use it less. That's one. So you'll have less FOMO, more mental peace. Second, related aspect is that if you have young kids, try to give them a smartphone later in life. In fact, I myself use a dumb phone and it has ended up saving me a lot of money. Now, what is the reason for that? How you can get into the habit of using dumb phone? Why do I use it? So here is an entire post that I have done. You can go and read it. The second key reason why people are making poor financial choices is the rise in consumerism. We earlier spoke about the fact that people are taking more and more consumer debt. Young people are taking debt to buy iPhones and a bunch of different things. Why is that happening? Well, because it is due to the rise of consumeristic culture. More credit card adoption, easier availability of credit, everything is now getting built on debt. If you build your life on debt, at some stage, when you have real liabilities, it will create a lot of stress for you. Debt is not something that makes your mind free. It creates a lot of traps for you. Let me give you a couple of examples through my own experience. When I used to work in consulting, many of my colleagues used to say that we are working like 12 hours, 14 hours. It's better to quit and then we will start something of our own. Then next year, same conversation. Year after that, same conversation. Even when I have conversations now with them, same again conversation. That, you know what, I recently bought a house on debt, so let me work for like 3-4 more years. Then after a few years, that okay, fine, my house debt is paid, but I bought a new Mercedes. Again, I'll have to work for a little bit more years. So the point is that you are never able to escape that race and it becomes a headache. So more liabilities, debt that you have on your head, you would not be able to make better lifestyle choices. So get away from that race of buying bigger ghoda, bigger gaadi, bigger house, this and that, right? Buy whatever you can afford to buy. That's a simple point that I'm trying to drive home. Now, the third reason why people are committing a lot of finance mistake is due to the rise of synthetic products. Now, what is the meaning of synthetic product? See, there is a concept of underlying and derivative. Now, underlying means that there is a piece of land. What is derived out of a land? Well, on a land, you can create a factory. So factory becomes a derivative of a land in a way. Or you can create an apartment, you can create a villa. All these are derivatives. Now, something similar happens in the finance space also. For example, you would have heard that 2008 finance crisis happened because of what? It happened because of something called as mortgage-backed securities. What is it? I've done a separate video. Please go and watch it. But mortgage-backed securities were a derived instrument from the real estate sector, that you had like parcels of land, houses, all this stuff. On top of that, some kind of a paper instrument was created, which was called as mortgage-backed securities. Something similar is happening in the REITs space right now. You would have heard that REIT space in India is growing a lot. So if you are someone who can't buy a land at 50 lakhs or a villa at 2 crore or a flat at 40-50 lakhs, then कोई बात नहीं, 500 रुपए में you can go 500 rupees, give it to a REITs company or give 1000 rupees to a real estate company and suddenly you are owner of real estate. No, that's absolute bullshit. Tell me that can you live in a REITs? The answer is no. Can you wear your sovereign gold bond? The answer is no. Please understand the difference between underlying and derivative. Underlying is the real thing. Derivatives can be created 100 different types and you will get confused. Now these days, if you take a look at BNPL, peer-to-peer loans, so many 100 different types of derivative products have been created and you will get confused if you try to understand so many products. So the reason why people are becoming dumber about money is that there are so many choices that you have and so many synthetic products that you have that you end up becoming confused if you try to understand each of these instruments. Now the fourth reason why people are not financially savvy is because of the fact that they are not undertaking harder stuff. Finance is a deeply complicated subject. You can't study finance just by watching one minute reel and watching funny videos. Please separate entertainment from hardcore finance. In order to invest your money sensibly, you will have to go and do the study. I get so many comments when I make like 20-25 minute video that, you know what, please give us like 1 minute summary of it. What will you do with 1 minute summary? Even before buying an Amazon product, if you have to buy a mixer grinder or if you have to buy like 2 t-shirts from Amazon, you would still go and check like so many reviews. You will spend like at least 20 minutes buying a t-shirt, right? Now, if you're buying a stock, if you don't even have 20 minutes, then stop stock investing. If you have no interest in learning about finance, which is a complicated subject, if you want to make it entertaining, it is not entertaining. It is your life on the line. You put in so much effort doing your job. Your parents have worked so hard to make money. Don't unnecessarily burn it. Please understand the concept of risk reward. Please understand the concept of diversification. Please understand how to hedge your portfolio. Please understand how to create a portfolio. If you have come so far on this video, I would encourage you to go and check this video as to how to create a portfolio. Understand different asset classes. There is no sacrosanct asset class that is there. Every asset class would serve a specific purpose. If you simply go and invest your money in a particular asset class without understanding it, you are just doing yourself a disservice and you are burning your own effort. So this brings us to the final section as to what you should be precisely doing in case you want to avert this entire situation and this entire game that is being built. Number one, please understand that consumeristic culture is meant to make you spend your money. Yes, there are things on which you should be spending that money and there are things you should not be investing that money. I'm not the one to tell you what you should be doing with your money. It's completely your call, but be sensible. If you can't buy something twice, don't even try to buy it once. It's as simple as that. This is a simple finance rule that I'm giving you in terms of spending it. Number two, please learn about finance. If you don't understand how to earn more, how to spend more sensibly, how to invest sensibly, you are just not learning the fundamental. It's fine. If you don't want to make stock investing your full-time professional, it's completely okay. If you don't even want to invest your money in stocks. For example, all of us, when we are in class 10th, 12th, we write essays, right? It's not as if that we become like columnists or we become like authors, but we know the basics of writing. Similarly, finance also has basics. So please spend 5 to 10 hours educating yourself about basic finance. If you just watch some of my free videos on this channel, you will understand in 5 to 10 hours, I can guarantee it to you. In fact, I'm willing to create a playlist. Please go and watch that playlist. You will be basically financially educated. Then you make a call. कहाँ पे आपको पैसा खर्च करना है, कहाँ पे नहीं करना. Third key thing, please watch analysis. Please don't watch news. There is a difference between the two. For example, whenever I speak, for example, if I'm analyzing a particular stock, that is an analysis. I'm not giving you news कि भाई ये हो गया वो हो गया. सबको पता है कि क्या हो गया, right? With a particular stock. It does not serve any purpose. If you're just watching like some random news channel, they say that okay, this promoter is about to do something, vagera vagera, and you just keep on consuming the news all day, you will not be making investment. Learn how to train your brain to analyze. Just don't simply absorb information. This is the critical point that you need to grasp. Fourth and finally, please separate ideas from people. I'm a person, I can have a lot of good ideas, I can have a lot of bad ideas. Your job is not कि Akshat ने यहाँ गलती कर दी, Akshat ने ये चीज ठीक बोल दी. No, that's not the point. What benefit would that bring to you? Your idea should be that okay, Akshat has spoken about so many different things. Let me go and search for competing viewpoints. Whosever viewpoint you like, form your opinion about that particular topic. That's it. Finally, it is you who is responsible for your own money. If you learn about money, it will serve you. If you do not learn about money, then you will serve money. Now, as a next step to kickstart your finance journey, please check out this video. Here I have explained how you can go ahead and start cultivating and building your portfolio. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.